Hello everyone, we are from Group 4 and today we are going to present a role play. There are 5 members to our group and we hope you enjoy our performance. Before that, let us introduce our member. My name is Alika Tridewina.
My name is Anida Elmi.
My name is Nadia Kesha Aditya.
My name is Afrida Wistiana. My name is Nadia Ratodana.
So let's begin. Good night everyone. Today we are going to discuss the next entitled The Open Market in the Digital Economy. The text explains how money, labor, capital, profit, computation, and monopoly work in modern markets. It also shows that markets today are no longer limited to physical places because many transactions now happen through digital platforms, mobile applications, and online marketplaces. I hope each of us can share opinions, examples, and passion so that we can understand about the economic concept and the English expression used in the text.
Yes, I think this topic is very relevant today. Almost every student has experience with digital market, such as buying products online, using delivery apps, or paying with e-wallet. So the tech is not only theoretical but also close to our daily life. I agree from my experience. Digital market have changed how people work and earn income. For example, many people are no longer traditional employees. Some become online sellers, freelance designer, content creator, or ride-hailing driver. Their income is not always fixed, and this makes the concept of labor more complicated.
That is an interesting point. I think the text help us understand that labor in economy usually measured by payment. But in modern life, many productive activities are not easy to classify. For example, someone who creates educational content online may spend many hours working, but their income depends on viewers, followers, advertisements, or platform algorithms.
So from the beginning, we can say that the text connect classic economic convergence with modern digital realities. Money is still as a standard to measure economic value, but the forms of work, income, and market interaction have become more different.
Good summary, Dira and Ichang. What do you think about the idea that unpaid work may have social media and have social value, but is not always counted as labor in the economic sense?
I think it is a little unfair because unpaid work can be very important. For example, caring for children or helping family members takes time and effort. Even if it is not paid, it still supports the economy indirectly.
This is a good point, Dira.
Let us move to the next issue, the difference between wage and profit. The next regular employees and receive wage, while entrepreneurs or independent workers may receive surplus after paying their costs. This distinction is important because it shows that not all income has the same economic character, which is usually more predictable, while profit depends on risk, cost, market demand, and business performance.
I think that discussion is very clear in the gig economy. A delivery driver or online seller might look independent, but their income can change every day. They may earn more when demand is high, but also the fixed costs such as fuel, internet, platform fees, and equipment maintenance.
Yes, and I have seen small businesses face this situation. A person might sell for talk an online platform, but after paying for ingredient, packaging, delivery charge, and platform commission, the remaining income might not be very large. Many people see sales revenue, but they forget to culture net profit.
That is why I think digital literacy and financial literacy are very important. In a digital economy, people must understand not only how to sell products online, but also how to calculate costs, risk, margin, and long-term sustainability. Without that knowledge, a business might look successful but actually produce very little profit.
From this point, I can say synthesis is that profit is not simply money versus profit. This profit is the surplus after our costs are paid. In modern market, those costs may include traditional examples such as wage and rent. In digital examples such as online advertising software, substation platform, fees and data service.
Excellent. Now let us discuss about capital. The text explains that capital is accumulated surplus used to finance future production. In the past, capital was often understood as land, machines, buildings, and equipment. But today, capital may also include software, data, and digital infrastructure, brand reputation, and intellectual property. This means that the concept of capital has expanded.
So, capital is not only physical things. It can also be something intangible, like an application, a database, or a strong brand.
Exactly, that is a very important observation.
I would like to talk about the meaning of market. The text say the market are no longer only physical place. I think this is easy to understand because we can now buy and sell without meeting face to face. For example, we can order food, buy books, pay bill, and even attend online course through digital platforms.
In the past, buyers and sellers usually met directly. They could see the product, negotiate the price, and build personal trust. Now, trust is often created through ratings, review, payment system, return policies, and platform reputation. This is a big change in market behavior.
Yes, and digital platforms also create new types of competition. Seller must compete not only in price but also in visibility, delivered speed, product photo, customer service, and online review. Sometimes a seller with better digital strategy can outperform another sellers even if the product is similar.
So, competition in digital economic in multi-dimension, it involves price, quality, speed, information, technology, and user experience. This make the market more dynamic, but also more complex.
Good. The text also mentioned that in an ideal market, information should be easy, transparent, and inexpensive. However, real markets are never perfect. Information may be unequal, algorithm may influence visibility, and consumers may prefer famous brands even when cheaper alternatives are available. This is why the idea of a perfect market is useful as a theory, but real markets need more careful analysis. May I add something? Of course, dear. Please continue.
I think customer review are very important in digital markets. Sometimes I choose a product not because it is the cheapest, but because many people give positive review. So information affect my discussion.
That's true. Review can influence demands.
But review can also be manipulated, so the quality of information matters.
Now we enter the issue of monopoly. In the text, monopoly is explained as a situation where one seller or a small group of sellers has strong control over the market. In the digital economy, monopoly power may come from data, platforms, algorithms, patents, networks, and user communities. This is different from traditional monopoly, which often come from control over natural resources or factories.
I think digital monopoly is very interesting because it can grow very quickly. When many users join one platform, the platform becomes more useful. Then more people join and competitors find it difficult to enter. This is called a network effect.
From real experience, people often continue using one platform because everyone else already use it. For example, sellers use a marketplace because buyers are there, and buyers use it because many sellers are there. This makes the platform stronger and stronger. That creates a serious policy challenge. On one hand, large platforms may provide efficiency, convenience, and innovation. On the other hand, they may charge high fees, control visibility, collect large amount of data, and reduce competition. So governments must be careful when regulating them.
I can connect this with the learning discussion. Competence is important because it protects consumer and coursework in important. However, when a component become too dominating, the market might become clarified. The regulation is not to stop business because concepts, but to different abuse of the power market.
I think regulation is important, but it should not be too strict. If regulation is too strict, companies might be afraid to innovate.
That is a balanced opinion, dear. Regulation should protect the public interest while still allowing innovation to grow.
Before we close, I want to say that this text helps us learn economic vocabulary in a meaningful context. Words such as labor, surplus, capital, profit, market, competition, and monopoly are easier to understand when they are connected with digital platform and modern businesses.
I agree. The modern context makes the text more realistic. Students can relate the concept to online shopping, digital payment, delivery service, startup, and freelance work. This makes the discussion more useful than only talking about traditional markets. For me, the most important idea is that the digital economy does not remove old economic concepts. Instead, it changes the way those concepts appear in real life. Labor, capital, profit, and monopoly still exist, but their forms are more complex.
To synthesis our discussion, we can say that the open market in digital economic is more flexible, fast, and within the traditional market. However, it also creates new problems such as in travel information, platform dependence, data control, and digital monopoly. Therefore, both economic instable standing and profit regulation and network.
I learned that markets are not just place. A market can also be a system where buyer and seller interact. Even through application or website. I also understand the digital market can give opportunities, but they also create risks.
Thank you everyone. Our discussion showed that text is not only about English reading comprehension, but also about understanding modern economic life. We have discussed how many measure economic value, how labor can be paid or unpaid, how profit differs from wages, how capital supports future production, how digital markets operate, and how monopoly power may appear in platform-based economics. We also learned that modern markets are not perfectly free or perfectly fair because information, algorithm, data, and networks effect can influence competition. Therefore, as a student, we need to understand both the language of economics and the real condition behind the concept. I think this discussion has helped us connect vocabulary, grammar, economic theory, and contemporary examples in a meaningful way.
Yes, that was a productive discussion.
I agree. The example made the concept clearer. And the topic is very relevant to current economic change.
The discussion also gives us concrete picture from the concept to application.
I feel more confident now. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our discussion. See you.